General disclaimer. Welcome to this official presentation on Affiliate Marketing Model 3.0. All presenters are providing their services on a volunteer basis and are active participants in all products they are presenting. Their views and opinions do not necessarily reflect those of the organisation. While we aim for accuracy, errors may occur. All content is for informational purposes only. The information provided is general and not personalised advice. We are not liable for any losses. We provide information and systems, but we do not endorse any purchases of memberships. Your decisions are yours alone, so we advise conducting thorough research. If uncertain, seek guidance from a qualified professional. Attendees accept these terms by continuing to view this presentation. Let's explore affiliate marketing cautiously and curiously. Legal disclaimer. You are viewing an Affiliate Marketing 3.0 official presentation. All products and services, their component parts and operating methods and systems, either provided by or created by Affiliate Marketing 3.0, belong solely to Affiliate Marketing 3.0. All IPs are protected. Anyone copying, distributing, or reselling any Affiliate Marketing 3.0 product without express permission risks serious legal consequences. Any unauthorized broadcasting, live streaming, or social media sharing of Affiliate Marketing 3.0 presentations is strictly prohibited. Downloading and re-uploading presentations without permission violates copyright law and may also lead to legal consequences.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to tonight's Zoom. Yes, I'm stepping in to some very big shoes this evening, and I hope I'm going to be able to fill them in their entirety. So thank you for that introduction. I won't hold you to those words because you never know what's going to happen. I'm going to be sharing from my tablet now. I've not done a corporate Zoom from my tablet before, so hopefully this is going to go well. I've done a little bit of practice. Tonight, we're going to be looking at ranking, how you structure and rank up. So the first step in that is understanding the compensation plan and the ranking system. So let me share screen, and then let's all cross our fingers, toes, and eyes. Okay, we're looking good. We're looking good so far.
Absolutely.
Reload. There we go. So, perfect. Here we go. All right. So let me scroll through to the important bits. Now, when it comes to the ranking system, it's very important to remember the terms and conditions, if you like, behind the ranking system. So we begin by understanding these criteria. Okay. So remember, in order to hit your ranks, these criteria are a must. So you must have the required number of active direct referrals. You must achieve the required minimum business volume. You must achieve the required team size for each rank. And you must maintain 3 active legs on a 40-30-30 ratio. And I'll explain more in a moment. And of course, if you want to hit rank 10, then it's very important that you have the fourth leg that is active also, and that will enable you to activate and qualify for rank 10. Now, let's look at that and go back up the screen a wee bit down here. So let's look at this ranking system. So to hit rank 1, you need a minimum active directs of 3 people. You need a minimum business volume of $15,000. And you need a minimum team size of 30 people. And you achieve rank 1 and you get a reward of $1,000. If you want to hit rank 2, then you need at least 4 active directs, $45,000 of business volume, team size of 75 people, and $3,000 will be yours. Remember, in Ethereum. And to hit rank 3, you need 5 active directs, 125,000 of business volume, a team size of 200 people, and you get $5,000 in Ethereum. So just here, you've got $9,000 of Ethereum that you can claim by simply helping others to grow their business, bringing people in and helping them to grow their business. Now, let's look at the 40-30-30 rule and how that works in this ranking system. So let's say you've got this rank here. You're aiming for $15,000. The 40-30-30 ratio refers to your 3 key leaders, your 3 active directs. So this $15,000 needs to be distributed across 3 legs on a 40-30-30 basis. This is percentage, okay? Which means in your key leg here, you need $6,000 worth of business volume. And in the other 2, you need 4,500. And if I've done my maths, you add those up, they equal $15,000. Now, if this was 6, 5,000 and 5,000, that's fine. You have still qualified within that bracket of 40-30-30. But if it was 6, 5, 4, then you haven't quite met the ratio requirement. So you don't qualify for the rank until you've done the additional 500 in the leg that only has 4,000. If you want to hit rank 2, it's the same system. You need your business volume to be distributed at 18,000, 1,350, sorry, 13,500 and 13,500. And again, if I've done my maths right, that comes to 45,000. And again, if this was 19, 14, 14, it's fine. You still qualify. But it's important to hit this ratio, and there are good reasons for it. And if you want to hit rank 3, then of course, fulfilling all of the other requirements, then this has to be distributed across those 3 legs as well. So that would be 50,000 here and 37,500 on the other 2. So now you have achieved that 40-30-30 split. Now, remember, these 3 legs here are all about building the foundation of your business so that you're going to have something that's stable, that will pay you for the next year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years and beyond. But also so that you have a firm foundation to be able to help others to grow their business so that they can hit ranks. These ranks here are all about leadership. So in order to achieve this ranks, that's not about business volume from your side. Now it's about your ability to help others to build the foundations of their business. So you need to help 3 people to hit rank 3. So you're going to have 6 active directs, a team size of 500 people, and out of that 6, you need to help 3 hit rank 3. To achieve rank 5, you help 3 hit rank 4. You help 3 to hit rank 5. You help 3 to hit rank 6. You help 3 to hit rank 7. You help 3 to hit rank 8. And in order to achieve rank 10, you need to help 4 people to hit rank 9. And of course, you are rewarded every single step of the way for achieving those ranks because it means that you have helped others. It means that you have put the work in, you've put the time in, you've put the effort in, and you've collaborated with others to help them achieve this stage here and then move through the ranking system. So remember, this entire ranking system is based on teamwork, on collaboration, not each person looking after themselves. All for one and one for all, as the Musketeers used to say. So this is all about working together as a community, because we all have the same tools, we all have the same support system, we all have the same products, we're all in the same company, we've got the same CEO. So there is nobody here who's at a disadvantage, and there is nobody here who is at a particular advantage. This is an equal opportunity for every single person that's in this community. So Chavez has very cleverly put this structure together to make you have to work in a collaborative way to help others, because that's how you achieve what you want. And after all, that's what the affiliate marketing world is all about. It's about getting what you want by helping others to get what they want first. Now, if you take into account all of that, this is working because it encourages balanced growth. No one leg can exploit the other. Every single individual community member is responsible for their own business growth. Of course, not by yourself. Everybody is working together to help. It's designed to drive that leadership. Let's find out who are the leaders among you. You never know. You may not see yourself as a leader, but by following a few simple steps and coming out of your comfort zone, you'll be surprised at how quickly you can fit the shoes of a leader and become the leader that you were meant to be. And of course, by collaboratively working together, pulling together as a community, lifting each other up, you can unlock those millionaire rewards, which are not part of your potential yield. This is all additional income. So I won't go through those. Now, obviously, everybody gets recognized once they hit the ranks. You know, one of the most important parts of the ranking system is the recognition that comes with it. So as soon as you hit a rank, you will immediately be recognized for that rank achievement in all of the official channels. And I think recognition is important. We don't get enough of that in our regular lives. In your job, when was the last time your boss ever said to you, great job? And if they have said it to you, what was the gap between the first time they said it and the last time they said it? It's not that often your boss says to you, you did a great job. More often than not, it's say, why didn't you do more? Can you do more? Will you do more? And get less for it. So recognition can be a very important part of the ranking system. And not least of which is because you get added into the ranked leaders group. And of course, then you get certain added benefits. As a ranked leader, you get access to the products usually early, because you'll be the person training your community. So it's important that you understand it and know it first. And of course, you get invited to the company events. We were in Vietnam last month. We're in Thailand next month. Chavez is talking about Latin America in November or December time. And who knows where over the course of 2026. Every single one of you has the ability to rank up. The only choice that has to be made is by you. Will you rank up? Nobody can make that choice for you. We will work with you. We will train you. We will help you in any way that we are able to. But the choice eventually has to be yours. I believe it's fair to say that we've been here long enough now that we can say we are a trusted company. That we can say that we are here for the long term, and we have a vision that we will fulfill. So really, there is no reason for anybody to not be sharing this business, telling their friends, telling their family, and achieving the ranks. Even if you only achieve ranks 1 to 3, that's $9,000 in Ethereum that you could be holding in your personal wallet. And imagine what Ethereum is going to do over the next 5 years. It's expected to cross $10,000 in the next couple of years, and it's expected to cross $40,000 in the next 5 to 6 years. So imagine if you've got $9,000 of Ethereum that you're holding now, what that will be worth in 5 years from now. What will it be worth in 10 years from now? Think of the Bitcoin miners. Nobody believed that Bitcoin would cross $1,000, yet it did that in 2006, I think it was. Nobody believed it would ever be worth $10,000, and it did that in 14, 16. Nobody ever imagined it could cross $122,000, and it's done that this year. So think of where you could be positioned with Ethereum in 10 years from now, and what that value will be. I think we are in the same situation now, because through 3FO, you have the ability to accumulate huge amounts of Ethereum that even if you cashed out 10, 20% of that a month for your living expenses, you will still have enough left to be able to grow in value and change your life in the future. And if not yours, your children's lives. Generational wealth, maybe. So all of this is about your future. It's not just about here and now. This is about your future, your children's future, and beyond. Now, okay, now let me go to whiteboard. So how do we structure? Let me stop there and okay, I believe my whiteboard is visible.
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you. So this is you. Now you can set your own goals, your own visions. There's enough things in this system to help you achieve. There's enough people in this system to help you achieve. But your goal is to go 20 people wide so that you get paid 15 people deep. Now, there isn't really a rush to achieve this. There's not a rush to go to 20 people wide. Remember, we're looking at let me take that away. We are looking at a 40, 30, 30 situation here. So how do we achieve that? Well, remember, each time you open up, in order to open up rank 1, let's go to rank 2, 3, and 4. In order to open up rank 1, level 1, you need 2 active directs. Okay, now, actually, these 2 active directs could be you. If you have the ability to, you could open up an account for yourself, an account for a partner, and fund those both accounts. And then the first time you bring, immediately that you bring somebody in, you're going to get paid. Okay, you start earning your commissions immediately. But if you're not going to do that, And if you already have an existing community, this is going to be a bit easier for you, because you can now select your strongest people. And what you're looking to do is, remember, this is about collaboration. So you bring in your 3 strongest people and you position them in your front line. And now you work with these 3 people to help them to grow their business. Now, because you've got 3 active wide here, you've now activated level 2. Now, these people are going to start growing their business on the same principle as you. So now you're looking, this is your first level here. This is your second level here. So you're now getting paid on these levels. But these people here are going to start growing as well, which will bring them down to the 3rd level. But you haven't activated that level yet, which means you need to bring in another person on your front line, because that now activates level 3, which means when these start bringing in people, you get paid on level 3. So it's important. This is about balance. This is about planning. This is about collaboration. So for you to grow your business, you need to be thinking ahead, because you need to be 1 more wide than the level you're activating. So if you're 4 people wide, you've activated levels 1, 2, and 3. But now that you've activated that level, it's a good idea to put another person in your front line. Now, these 2 people here, they could just be investors. Not everybody that you bring in has to be a recruiter or a team builder. It's okay to take in people who simply want to invest. If you think about somebody who's in their early to mid 20s, maybe 30 years old, but they don't want to be a team builder, they simply want to invest, 3FO is a perfect pension plan for them. Better than any government pension plan, better than any private company pension plan. Because if you imagine the first package, the ignition package, takes approximately 3.5 years to complete, and you've got $2,000 back, you move on to the next panel. And that will take, I haven't calculated the years for the others, but that will take some years. But overall, you're looking at somewhere around about 10 years to get to complete all of the packages. It might be a bit more than that. As I say, I didn't do the exact calculation. But essentially, somebody in their 20s, by the time they're 40, they will be earning such a huge sum of money, $1,000 a week, $3,000 a week in Ethereum. So imagine earning $3,000 a week and you're able to cash out $1,000 a week for your living expenses, and the rest you hold is Ethereum for the value to grow. This is a perfect pension plan for somebody who doesn't want to team build, who wants to be passive, but is going to be around long enough to achieve that long-term goal. Somebody in their 20s, 30s, even somebody in their 40s. And if you're lucky, maybe somebody in their 50s. I'm 55. I don't know whether I'll manage to reach the end if I was to do it passively, which is why I'm recruiting. So for those of us who are later in years, shall we say, then of course you have the ability to accelerate all of this, to go through this process much, much faster by simply growing your own community and helping others to do the same and duplicating that every single way, teaching everybody what you know and how to grow your team. So every time you bring somebody in, if you bring in a new person, you're not necessarily going to put them to your front line. If you bring in a good, strong leader, you're going to put this person here. You could give them to your direct, or let me get rid of some of that. You could give them to this direct person if you wish, and they will have them as their front line. Or you could give it to one of these people and they can have it as their front line. And what you're doing is you're driving depth and you're driving volume within these three legs, because you only need these three active legs to get to rank 9. And rank 9 is paying over $1,000 a week. If you get to sub panel 9, you're earning around I think it's $1,000 a week. So you're going to be driving volume, which is going to enable you to reinvest your Ethereum to move through the sub panels. Plus, on rank 9, you've earned $5 million in Ethereum, and you only need 3 legs to do that. So your aim is to support each of these 3 legs. When you bring somebody in, you feed them down line so that you're driving that depth and in turn driving that volume upwards. And then everybody is benefiting from that. And of course, it is a balancing act. It is a balancing act. So, not that one. I don't want that color. I can't change color now, but that's okay. So, oh, there we go. So, this is a balancing act, because remember what I said. You want to be 20 people wide in order to get paid 15 people deep. So you're starting to grow your 3 strongest people, and they are growing in turn, and they are growing in turn. But now you're, let's go 1, let's get rid of that. So now you've got 1, 2, 3. So if you're 3 levels deep here, remember that every now and again, you're going to need to add somebody to your front line so that you're able to activate the next level down. And you'll find that these, even as passive investors, especially if they're brand new people, then it may take time for them to build trust and confidence. For people who are already part of this community, you should already know. Chavez has been with us 2 years now. We've just celebrated our 2nd birthday. In my opinion, he's done more than enough to demonstrate his commitment to us as a community and his commitment to the company's vision for the future. And if you don't feel the same, then my question to you would be, when will it be enough? Another 2 years? Another 5 years? Another 10 years? In the meantime, the rest of us that have committed are building businesses. Only a choice that you can make. So those of us who are already part of this community, who have already been here for the last 2 years, we already know. Many of us already have community, so this is easier. But if you're bringing in brand new people and you're putting them in your front line, this might take a month, 2 months, 3 months for them to have confidence and to trust. And even some of these will begin to grow their business also. They may only bring in 12 people, but it all contributes to your growth and to your business. Now, remember, even if you're not hitting the ranks, it doesn't matter. You are getting paid on all of the business within your structure. This system of 40-30-30 is purely for achieving the ranks. If ranking isn't important to you, then you don't need to adhere to the 40-30-30 situation. You can simply grow a massive business and earn a massive income and not worry about the 40-30-30. But if recognition and ranking is important to you, then you've got to adhere to the 40-30-30. And it's about balanced growth. So as you go down in depth, you need to make sure that you are always at least one person ahead of the level that you're activating. So if you want to activate level 4, you need to be 5 people wide. If you want to activate level 5, you need to be 6 people wide. But there isn't an immediate rush for that. Bring in your 3 strongest people and then collaborate, work with them, strategize with them. Go through their team, their community, their friends. Who's the strongest person? Who do you think is likely to do the most? Because something that's very important to remember in this system is this. I don't want that color. Let's go back to this color. This is an important thing to remember here. If you bring in somebody here that's not really a team builder, that's okay. Maybe you think they're going to be and they turn out not to be. That's okay. You always have the ability to bring in more people. But what you do need to do is to make sure that these have the funds to be able to buy a package. Because what can happen is, let's say this person joins and they buy a $500 package and they bring in this person and this person doesn't buy a package, but they do bring in a person. Maybe they're waiting for some funds to arrive. Maybe they're selling some shares to buy a package. And in the meantime, they're bringing in people. So maybe they'll bring in a couple of people here. Now, they won't earn anything because they don't have a package, but neither will you, because the link between these 2 people and you is broken. So because this is an unfunded account, then you're not getting paid. So it's very important that when you sign people up, that you establish that they have the funds ready to be able to invest. Now, it's not such a big deal if they're in your front line. You can wait for them. They can join, they can sign up, they can wait, and they can fund their package next week, next month. That's not such a big deal. You can afford to wait. But if they are in the downline, and even here, if you have another one here that's unfunded, but then somebody comes in here, then the link is broken. So it's really important. One of the strategies that myself and Carl are using is, I hesitate to use the word, but in some sense it's almost correct, is interview. We discuss with that person, we strategize with that person. What's your plan? Are you planning to team build? Are you going to be passive? Or are you just going to sit and assess for a couple of weeks or a month and then team build? And we have an honest conversation with that person. Have you got the funds ready to be able to activate a package now? If they say no, I'll be ready next week. No problem. We'll make an appointment with them for next week and we will sign them up next week. Now, again, as I say, if they're front line, it's not necessarily a big deal. But if they're going into the downline of your 3 strongest people, you don't want to cause a blockage within that structure. So it's a good idea to have that conversation and say to them, look, no problem. If you're not ready now, it's not an issue. We're not going anywhere. We're going to be here next week. We're going to be here next month. We're going to be here next year. No problem. Get the funds together. Let's make an appointment for next week or for next 2 weeks, whatever it is. Let's make an appointment and we can get you funded. We can get you registered and activated all at the same time. Then that way you are avoiding having dead accounts. Now, look, this isn't easy to control because obviously your team are going to be growing community as well. And some of these people will just sign people up. You are not going to have personal communication with everybody in your team. You may try to, but remember, collaboration is a mutual thing. Both people have to want to, or all parties have to want to collaborate. And you're all in different time zones. It's not always easy to do. So some people will just sign people up and hope that they will fund. But you can only do your best to try and make sure that you are not contributing and creating a blockage. So be careful about when you're bringing people in. Try and have a conversation with them and see if they've got the funds ready to activate now. If not, no problem. Let's make an appointment for tomorrow. Let's make an appointment for next week. And then we'll get the whole thing done all in one go. That's a strategy myself and Carl are using. I mean, there may be other leaders who are using different strategies. Trasha and Rajiv might have a different strategy, but it's been working for us. Okay. I don't think I've missed anything there. I think I've covered everything. Okay, back to you then, Grace.
Alrighty. Joe, I think that you covered more than everything. What amazing points, very, very strong points that you made about the broken link is what I call it now. Okay. And, these are things that are not quite evident, in looking at this and working on a strategy. So thank you for all the hard work that you and Carl have gone into analyzing all of this and dissecting it, and then you being able to clearly present it with your whiteboard. You're becoming a whiteboard master now.
A whiteboard wizard. A whiteboard wizard. Yeah, a whiteboard wizard. No, I hope I hope I've done a sufficient enough job that everybody has understood. And obviously, I wasn't aware that I was going to be doing this until earlier today, so I didn't have much time to prepare. But I hope I gave enough information for everybody here to understand the system and how to structure.
Well, we're going to go ahead and find that out because I think the information that you provided is going to generate quite a few questions. Let's see if we have already 2 questions in that. And one is in Russian. In fact, the 2 are in Russian. If there's anybody who will be able to interpret these for me, because I'm not sure that I can even copy and paste it and put it in the translator quick enough, please raise your hand to be able to provide that assistance. So, folks, there is a lot to unpack with regard to as far as the structuring and the mindset to rank up. And this is what I'm sure there's a goal of several affiliates is to reach those ranks. But then also, Joe, can you do this, accomplish this if you just want to be able to invest,
To hit the ranks, like, give me a second.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you probably don't want to read those out. You don't want anybody to translate those.
Oh, that'll be fine.
Yeah. If it's possible to delete them, should delete them.
Okay.
But
Not
I
a
have
problem.
taken a screenshot and I will share later.
Okay.
As a passive investor, technically the answer is yes. You could hit the ranks if you've got enough money, if you've got enough funds, if you've got $15,000 kicking around, then yes, you could simply open up 3 accounts under yourself and fund each of those accounts with the relevant funding for each of those legs, and you would hit rank 1. So yeah, it's entirely possible. If you've got $45,000 kicking around, you could open 3 legs. So yes, it's possible that you could hit the ranks as a passive investor if you have the personal wealth to be able to do that. But outside of that, for the average person, then no, you're not going to be able to hit the ranks without growing a community. We are an affiliate marketing company. The goal of this company is to grow the community. And why? What's the purpose of that? To provide wealth, to create wealth in the average person, because there's no other system out there that's doing it for you. The government isn't doing it for us, certainly not in this country. I don't know about in your respective countries, but if you're not any better off this year than you were last year, if you're not any better off today than you were 10 years ago, that would suggest that things aren't getting better. So as an affiliate marketing company, our goal is to help as many people as possible to earn and create wealth, and if at all possible, generational wealth. So go forth and multiply, as they say.
Get in a race with the rabbits, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So now Triple Or Support wants to know, what if I have 3 people and with the loan, one person pays 4,500 and the second pays 4,500 and the third 2 people pay 6,000. So is that considered ranking?
I'm glad that question came up, because actually one thing I did miss within that explanation there was about the lending system. Although we were talking mostly about ranks, I could have probably added a portion in there about loans. No, because remember, you need a minimum team size. So you need a minimum team size of 30 people. Each of those criteria is very, very important. You need the minimum business volume, you need the minimum directs, you need a minimum team size. So no, you cannot hit ranks. If you've got 29 people, but you've still got the same business ratio, the correct business ratio, you don't hit rank. You would need that extra community member to make it 30 in order to achieve the rank reward. So yes, while you've got it, while you may have it in business volume, you have not fulfilled one of the other criteria.
Thank you, Joe. And Manga Watara wants to know, the goal is to grow the market and make a big community. The BTCC will hit a good level in the market as well.
Yes,
As
and
we
that's
are.
yeah, I think that's more of a statement, isn't it? But yeah, and he's right. Monga's absolutely right. You know, look, Chavez came to us to save this community, and he did so with his own personal project. He'd been building the BTC20 smart chain and BTCC long before we knew Chavez, long before he came to us. That was his personal goal, his personal path to huge wealth in the future. And he chose to bring it to us as a community to save this community and give this community something that we could build on and build with. So if you imagine how much money and time it takes to create what he has created, I believe He worked on that before he came to us. I believe he worked on that for 3 years. So you think of how much money, effort has gone into that. And do you think for 1 second that Chavez hasn't got a huge plan of what's going to happen on our blockchain over the next 5 years? So I don't have any doubts that over the course of the next 5 years, we are going to see big, big things happening on our blockchain. We're going to see BTCC hitting big, big values. But of course, we are a community. Bitcoin is all about community. Bitcoin code is all about community. This has to be a collaboration. If you're not harvesting, then where's the BTCC going to come from? Where's the value going to come from? There needs to be liquidity. There needs to be a circulating supply. If all of the BTCC is sitting, the BTCC is sitting on the DApp, then that's not in circulation. So how is that going to be used? The price of B fuel right now isn't important. What's important is bringing it off the DApp into MetaMask and holding it. And then you watch that price go up, especially once the P2P platform launches and new people. Remember, the Vietnamese are bringing in Thailand. Thousands and thousands of people. They're going to be looking to buy BTCC. And if you haven't harvested, they'll buy it off of somebody else. And they get to make the profit. They get to benefit from the value of BTCC while you're still holding it on the DApp. Because there's going to be lots of people looking to buy very, very soon.
So you to go ahead and be harvesting a little bit, and I think you even say maybe $100 a month, or and just on a regular basis, is the best thing for us to be able to contribute to the increase of BTCC in circulation. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, any amount is going to help. That's not necessarily going to be possible for everybody, because if people haven't been following the multiple account strategy, where you're moving your miners every month or every week or every 6 months, whatever it is that suits you, then yes, your B fuel costs might be so high now that even harvesting as a percentage might be very difficult. But that's okay. If you move your miners now, then you can begin that process with your new accounts. Move them every few months or every few weeks, freeze the B fuel costs, and then you can come back to those and harvest $100, $20, $50. Because all of that, I mean, Christ, we're a community of nearly 200,000 people now. You imagine what the price of BTCC will do if everybody harvested even $50. If everybody harvested just $50, 200,000 people harvested $50 of BTCC, I'm quite sure the price of BTCC would rocket back up to maybe $250, $300.
Amazing. Amazing. Is that the same thing that you're saying, multiple accounts strategy? Is that the same thing that crypto tech came up with several, almost over a year now, that is popular known as 10-10-10 strategy?
Yeah, absolutely. And I jumped all over it. It's a good idea. It's a good idea. Yeah, he talked about it just after, within a few weeks of Bitcoin code launching.
Mm-hmm.
And I studied it. I thought it was a brilliant idea. I started teaching it. I made videos about it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now this one here, Gracewood, what about the proof of reserve? Nothing is being said about the proof of reserve. Thank you for that question, Blessing.
The proof of reserve has been distributed. Be more specific in your question, Blessing, because the proof of reserve was distributed last year. It matured in September of last year, I think it was.
September 24th.
There you go. It matured in on September the 24th, and it was distributed I don't know, a couple of months later. So everybody's had their proof of reserve.
Is that the one that came that was people could claim and withdraw as wrapped BTC?
Yes.
Wrapped BTC. Okay. Alrighty. And if you haven't, if you didn't withdraw the proof of reserve, then is there any other opportunities to be able to withdraw them as wrap BTC?
There's always a possibility. I don't know. I think it's be open for a bigger discussion at some point in the future. We gave excuse me, we gave ample warnings to everybody that the wallets were open. We sent around Google forms to everybody. We told all the leaders to tell their community. We spent months sending messages out, mentioning it on Zooms and on the Q&As and on the presentations and on. So everybody should know about it. Now, inevitably, some people who have left the platform may not have got that message.
Right.
I guess I can't speak for Chavez's plans on that personally, but I guess at some point there possibly will be a larger conversation had for those who didn't come back for their proof of reserve. But honestly, I can't speak for Chavez's intentions. I would think so, but I'm not in a position to make that as a promise.
Yeah, I think somebody was using the term have come in from the woods.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, fantastic. That, Shiva Joe, thank you so much for this wonderful, amazing training, focusing specifically on how to rank up. This is the goal, especially to be able to, just get the bragging rights of being able to rank up, demonstrating that level of success and leadership, as well as then being recognized um, by compensation of those wonderful, wonderful bonus rewards. So, albeit that those bonus rewards are one time, the commissions that you may receive or other levels of income, they continue, right? No matter as far as once you're ranked up, right?
Yeah, I mean the builder's yield that comes in every week. As long as you've got a community with active panels and sub panels, then yes, you're getting that yield every single week on top of your own yield. And if you've got a community, then yes, you are getting paid perpetually, but the gap in that distance is obviously going to be a little bit different because as you're earning your affiliate rewards, then yes, you're accelerating your package. But the people in your community, if they've got an ignition package, for example, if they are not team building, then it's going to take them, say, it's about 3.5 years to complete that $2,000 in Ethereum. But yes, once they've completed their ignition pack, what they're going to do, they're going to want to buy another ignition pack, because if they've made $2,000, why wouldn't they want to make another $2,000? So yes, of course, those that are passive, yes, you get paid again and again and again, but the distance between each commission, if you like, is larger. Whereas those who are team building and completing their packages, let's say monthly, let's say it's taking somebody a month to complete $2,000, then they'll move to each sub panel. So you'll be getting paid every month. Eventually, your community will be big enough that you'll be getting paid possibly even daily. You could be making $2,000-$3,000 a day very easily.
Amazing, amazing. So folks, if there are no more, one came in. So the question about proof of reserve is that we receive it and is just sitting there in our account, which use case is being allocated to it. Okay, so how are we going to be able to use it, or is there a use case? And how can we withdraw it? Nothing is being said. Yeah, as far as the options for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think lots has been said. We've discussed it many times on Zooms. Yes, you're right. We can't withdraw it out of the ecosystem right now because the BTC20 blockchain and BTCC is not out there in the big wide world. And it will be eventually, it will be at some stage. And believe me, with that in mind, you'll probably be very glad that you couldn't transfer out your wrapped Bitcoin, because you would have received your wrapped Bitcoin when Bitcoin was at about $70,000. At which point you would have withdrawn it and you would have spent it, or you would have perhaps converted it into something else. But now you've got it as wrapped Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is now 120. What's it at now? It was 122,000 a couple of days ago. Right now, Bitcoin is $117,000. So you've added what, $40,000 onto the value of your wrapped Bitcoin because you've not been able to move it out and swap it into something else. So that, in some degree, if you consider it in that plane, is an advantage. But yes, there are things that you could have done with it. You are able to convert it into BTCC. You could add it into the liquidity pool. You could pair it up with BTCC and put it into the BTC20 liquidity pool, and then you'd be earning or getting paid a portion of the fees, of the swap fees. You could convert it into USDT or BTCC, and you can use it to contribute towards something in the ecosystem. You could, on the 60-40 basis. So you could buy a liquid pay card. You could buy, was it Pi? No, not Pi. Well, it was Dodo at the time, wasn't it? So it was Dodo that was on the DeFi side. Right. You could use it to buy a $500 miner or a $5,000 miner and increase your BTCC holdings. So yes, there are things that you could do with it within our ecosystem. But I mean, if you ask a Bitcoin miner what he does with his Bitcoin, what do you think he'll sell you? He holds it. They don't sell. Nobody sells Bitcoin. The big companies might sell and buy Bitcoin, but because they've got millions and millions of dollars of it, so they can sell it and buy it back immediately at a profit. But for the average person like us, undoubtedly, most of us, maybe even all of us, would have withdrawn that wrapped Bitcoin. And I doubt many would have converted it into regular Bitcoin. Most would have probably used it to pay their bills, buy food, spend it on something else, and then you wouldn't have the value that you've got in it today. If Bitcoin goes, imagine if you think if the blockchain, if our blockchain doesn't go public, and the longer that, and that's only going to take a long time if people aren't harvesting. You're in control of when we go to the big wide world. If everybody had been harvesting, we would probably already be out there in existence within the standard exchange, within the mainstream. But if nobody's harvesting, that's not going to happen. So sitting and waiting isn't going to make the value of BTCC go up. Harvesting and bringing it on chain, creating liquidity and circulating supply is going to be what gets it out there to the big wide world. So the sooner you start harvesting, the better. But imagine if we were already on the blockchain, if we were already out there in existence in the big wide world, what BTCC value could be by now.
The possibilities with this, and especially BTCC, the focus and understanding of what you have in hand as you review it and speak about it and inform, Joe, is incredible. Your imagination, it just can run away with you. But there is something to hang on to with regard to the reality of what you have in hand now and what you have been mining and harvesting all of these months and years. Now, we have just celebrated our second anniversary of the BTCC, and we're looking forward to our first halving. But if somebody needed to go ahead and really look forward to that, what do they need to be doing right now? Crypt, uh, 3FO Joe, what do they need to be doing right now about their BTCCs?
Right now, stake it in 3FO, harvest and stake. Now B fuel is even less relevant because it doesn't matter. You harvest, you stake your BTCC, and what do we get back? Ethereum. You're getting Ethereum back. And of course, if you cash it out, you get today's value. If you hold it for 6 months, you hold it for a year, you get an increased value. If you keep holding and keep building, keep holding, keep building, keep holding, keep building, you'll have so much Ethereum. And remember, the big players in the world, they don't sell their Bitcoin, they don't sell their Ethereum, they borrow against their assets.
Yes, that's Clara. Joe, thank you so much for this masterful training that you have provided and your wizardry on the whiteboard.
My
And
apologies for anybody that was expecting an Excel sheet. I'm sorry that I've disappointed you. I'm not an Excel sheet person, but I hope I've provided some sort of clarity at the very least.
you really did. And you brought out very good points for folks to go ahead and put in their heads and be able to chew on that. And if you have questions, don't worry, jot them down on the paper because we will hopefully, as they say, um, we will see Joe on Sunday for a live Q&A. In the meantime, tomorrow, Saturday, we will have Eunice with the back office and onboarding. So please, those folks who are popping into your organization, make sure that they come into the onboarding session tomorrow at 7 p.m. The 7 p.m. UK. So we look forward to seeing you tomorrow and seeing more of Joe on Sunday at the 9 o'clock live Q&A presentation, plus 2 hours from our usual UK time. Thank you all for being here. You have received masterful training, and I am sure that that is worth the time that you have spent here. We'll see you next time. Thank you very much again, Joe. Thank you.
You know,